Well, during this year we've obviously been selling a lot of residential property because of the markets. We've been very busy in the hotel business, which our recent acquisitions in Scotland, we've just completed on the Dunblane Hydro Hotel, which is going to become a Hilton by the end of January, which was owned by Stagis, who built this hotel many, many years ago. It's the old castle. The second hotel is in Glasgow, which is another 120-room hotel. There again, rebranding, repositioning the market. We purchased the biggest estate in Sicily, which is 200 acres site, 550 villas, plus a 300-bedroom hotel, which again needs refurbishing and upgrading. We recently bought one in London, which is just outside London in Cambridge, which is 122 rooms. We're going to extend that by another 58 rooms, rebrand, reposition in the market, and put Hilton in as well.
Okay. In terms of now, your general outlook for the year ahead, what's your gut instincts telling you about the way in which the property market is heading, especially here in the UK?
Well, I feel, for the last 2 years I've seen the markets changing. The markets have been evolving. You can see, prices are very, going way over the top. We're actually, I believe, in all the property sectors across the board, we are 30%, 20 to 30% overvalued. With recent events like the credit crunch, just shows you what's happening. Globally, not only in the UK. And the biggest fear is we're going into uncertainty in the property market. You can see, obviously, interest rates. They dropped the interest rates by 0.25% to give people a bit more comfort, because if it carried on the way it was, everything was going to go crashing down. Now, the size of the problem is no one can really, none of us can really put our finger on it at the moment. But my fear is it may be a lot worse than what we're all expecting.
Right.
The banks at the moment are still busy trying to work out between them globally how much debt they've got on their books which they need to write off. And the fear is once they decide how much money they have to write off, then they're going to look at their customers to recoup that money. So for example, if they've lent out 100 million to one client 2 years ago at 4.5%, they'll be able to look at that today with property values dropping, loan to values will be hit, and it'll give the banks the excuse to come in, take that 100 million back and resell it out on the market at 6.5%. This is the way they will recoup their money back.
Right. So in terms of the Ability Group, are you now looking outside of the UK for a lot more attractive deals?
Yeah, yes, I've been doing that. We bought a lot of shopping centres in Germany, over 200 million euros worth, which the yields were 7.5%, 8%. But even in Europe, if you look at the returns, they're very much where the UK is.
Right.
So the problem is globally.
Okay. And there's been a lot of speculation about this huge house that you're building on the Bishop's Avenue. How's that coming on, and when do you expect to move in?
Well, the house on Bishop's Avenue is going, it's going to plan, but it's just such a slow procedure because it's a listed building. It's 40,000 square feet, and everything is handmade. So dealing with the council and building consent, listed building consent, is a very slow process. So hopefully by the end of next year we should be completed. Okay.
And in terms of your tips to any of our business entrepreneurs or people wanting to go into business, what are your tips to them to have success in business in the year ahead?
Well, I think next year is a time where we need to all just take things easy and just decide, see how the market is evolving, and let's try and put, the point on how bad things are going to go. So starting up new businesses, I think, is a bit risky, and we should just take it easy and see what happens in the markets, which will help us make the decision. The simple fact is, if you could buy a building today for 10 million, I believe by middle of next year you buy that same building 30% less. Wow. So therefore it's a time to just reflect and let's just see the flush through what happens.
So a time to sit on your hands maybe and just not do anything at the moment?
Well, I never say sit on your hands and do nothing. There's always something you can do, but just don't be too ambitious, because we're all going into unforeseen areas really and periods. It's going to be a very interesting period in the next 2 years.
Okay, and in terms of the aims of the Ability Group in 2008, as a group, what are you sort of intending to try and achieve in the next year?
Well, we're in a fortunate position where, 2 years ago I started selling big, stock of my residential stock because I could see these markets changing, I could see values going crazily, and obviously what I started to do is start selling off big chunks. So we're actually sitting cash rich at the moment. We've invested into hotels where there is, some equity that you can actually build your equity on, and redevelopment and so on, which I mentioned earlier. So basically we're just sitting tight and just waiting to see the deals come through and seeing where we can actually add value.
Okay.
I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.